I think when you find out that you're going to have a baby, it's really exciting. You start thinking about the future and everything that may become. The relief of Emily being born and being well was remarkable.
So Adam and I were just kind of looking at her and looking at her little fingers, and I was already thinking about when she was older, if she'd get married and if she'd have her own babies and things and like all this. Because I have such a nice relationship with my mum, I wanted to have that with her.
Before she turned 1, she started having seizures, and also her ability to swallow milk had changed as well. She'd had an MRI, she'd had other scans and blood tests that came back as inconclusive. But because of this rapid deterioration, that they decided to do some quite specialist testing, some exome sequencing, and at that point they then found the diagnosis of Rett syndrome.
And we had Emily with us, and she was just sat in her car seat laughing and giggling and playing with a toy, whilst they told us that she had a condition that was going to kill her. It was awful. It was the worst day of my life, I think. She got steadily more unwell. She went from being our happy, smiley little girl to almost overnight having seizures constantly, not smiling, not laughing.
Emily was transferred to a local hospice where she received end-of-life care. So Emily was in the hospice for around 6 days before she actually died.
When we were told that she had passed away, I don't think you can believe it. I think because it is so abnormal to being a parent that your child has died, that we just I don't think we did believe it at first.
So when Emily was in hospital, when she was in intensive care in the hospice, my place of work at the time, which was a corporate company, was wonderful. They gave me all the time and space that I needed. However, after Emily's funeral, it was like a switch that had changed. It was this fact that grief should be time limited, that I needed to get back to work. I was struck in this position of, do I just resign and do I just not go back to work? But then what would have been the impact on my family as a result of that, having been through the worst eventuality as a family you could ever go through?
Everyone else, the time is moving on for them, but we're just stuck with the fact that our child's died. We're not moving on. It's not getting better. The first couple of years after you lose your child, and those anniversaries are so raw with emotion, and it's so important then to have that time to think about things that have happened in the past, not suppress things that have happened, so you can process them and then get on with your life after that day. But equally, the years after that, when things are less raw, they're still really painful and emotional. But for our family, we want to celebrate Emily and think about her and do fun things and let our children know that it's okay to talk about her and think about her. She's still a massive part of our family.
So not just for us, but for all families, having that day off to recognise the loss of a child, for a family to be able to spend that time together, is significant. It's not just the practicality of having a day off. It's that recognition and that understanding of what a family must have been through to require this time.
I do desperately want it to happen. Fortunately, with my job, I can pre-plan and get time off work when I know that it's Emily's birthday or the anniversary of her death. But there are so many people that don't have that luxury. Other parents, bereaved parents that I know that just don't have that time and that space to have that time and celebrate their child. So not just for me and my family, but for all the bereaved families, it's so important for them to have that recognition.